please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Laura Simon. I live 520 32nd Street Northwest, Canton, Ohio, 44709. I am here tonight to express my views on Ordinance 108-2012, which changed the city income tax credit for residents of Canton who work in another municipality from 2% to 1.7%. I am unhappy and think this ordinance is an unfair tax targeted to a certain group of Canton City residents. On July 30th, 2012, City Council voted on Ordinance 108 to reduce the income tax credit from 2% to 1.7%. This is a 0.3% tax increase to all working Canton City residents that work in another municipality. The vote was 6-6, with the tie-breaking vote by President Schulman, who voted yes. The discussion previous to the vote was by Councilman Morris and Fisher. Their concern was about construction workers being penalized because they could work outside the city of Canton and incur the additional income tax. I will give you another concern. Me. I have lived in Canton 30 of my 39 working career years. The last 25 years have been with my third-generation family business in East Canton. Our business has an accountant to keep track and pay the income tax due to each of the municipalities where our employees live. When I filed my 2013 city income tax, I had already paid the correct amount. The accountant had adjusted to the additional 0.3%. I did not recognize the change and did not realize at the time I was paying 0.3% more city income tax than my neighbor. It wasn't until my college student daughter's Canton City income tax paper came back in the mail, stated that she owed more income tax. She lives at home and went to Kent State University main campus and worked in Kent. It wasn't until the second letter came that I investigated and found out that she also has been penalized an additional 0.3% because she lives with me but worked in Kent. I understand that Canton needs more money. I understand that it's difficult to ask Canton City residents to vote to raise income tax. But targeting only the working wage earner because they work in another city is unacceptable. I do applaud, however, our Treasurer Kim Perez and Councilman Morris and Schmuckler in trying to reverse this inequality this past spring, only to be passed in council and vetoed by the mayor in June 2014. Mr. Mayor.
Well, ma'am, you've got about 15 seconds to wrap it up.
Do you remember when Stark County Commissioners voted on their own to raise the county sales tax? People who feel they were taken advantage of by the very group that was voted in to watch over them, don't forget that action.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That's all. And Ms. Simon, I would invite you to stay through the meeting. I'll be happy to make some remarks in miscellaneous.
Give me a refund?
I would probably give you one if you stayed around. It can be very tedious and boring back there, I understand, and the chairs might not be all that comfortable. But I do appreciate you staying here. And rarely in our lives are we defined by one specific event or thing that we do. Maybe John Wilkes Booth was defined by the assassination of President Lincoln. That's certainly true. But most of us in our ordinary lives, which don't reach some notoriety, are not defined by one event. You're not, I'm not, by one vote when you're a public servant, and one idea for the Burgeleses and Mr. Cox. One idea of a public servant should not define that public servant's duty to the citizens that he or she represents. I appreciate what you said, Ms. Simon, and I did cast the deciding vote raising the tax on you, and it probably raised the taxes on others. There have been occasions where I've been called to cast a deciding vote to raise the amount of money you pay for your water sewage treatment costs, where you may pay for water bills more than you would last year. I don't like to do that. None of us do. To follow up on what the mayor said, we are probably $6 million behind where this city should be. $6 million in a city this size, which is not particularly gigantic, from where we were just 6 years ago, because of what the State House and the governor has done to urban areas. And I have to say, if I were in your shoes, I'd much rather come down to Canton where I live, and by the way, I'm a neighbor of yours, come down to Canton City Council and raise holy hell with us, than get in the car, drive to Columbus where they have no public speaks, by the way. No citizen has a right to speak unless they're invited by the chairs of their various and respective committees. Then get in the car and go down there and complain, because it would be like yelling in a hurricane. I'm not happy with what I did to you. I apologize for what I did to you. But would I do it again? Yes, I would do it again. And it's because our city is not just one person, it's many people who share common interests and also common infrastructure. The roads, the water, the police, the fire, all those things that make a community are supported by the members of that community. And I don't like to pay taxes any more than you do. And I'm sorry you have to pay more. I wish that was not the case. But sometimes when you represent the community and not simply individual people, that's what happens. Some people do pay more, some people may pay less. But we all pay to enjoy the privileges of living in our city. And so I apologize, and if you want to, I apologize to you for raising your taxes, but if you want to talk about it more after this, I'd be happy to talk with you about it. And I do understand.
I do.
Very good.
And I don't want to marry you. I just
I'm already married.
And so am I.
We can talk. Well,
You know this is on record, right?
you want to cut off the. But I do appreciate it. Thank you, and I will talk to you afterwards. If I just one more thing, a great judge once said in a decision, taxes are the cost we all pay for civilization. And that's true. Without communities and all of us chipping in, we would have no civilization. But let's talk afterwards. Thank you.